AWSN, this is Rich Mberiket. I am sitting here with Michael Ajakwe. He's the Executive Director of the LA Webfest. I'm going to be asking him some questions about what's coming up with LA Webfest 2012, as well as his involvement with the Marseille Webfest that just wrapped this month, actually, in Marseille, France. So, Michael Ajakwe, how's it going today?
Oh, good, man. It's good. It's a beautiful day in LA.
Okay. Good to see you again. It's been a while.
Always a pleasure.
Awesome.
Always.
So as far as like the LA Webfest 2012 goes, I mean, the web series community is buzzing. Everyone is excited about it. What can you tell us about this upcoming Webfest?
Well, I think this year's Web Festival is going to be the biggest ever. It's our third one. We've already got shows from all over the world, 8 different countries, 20 different states. I think it's going to just increase. I think what helped is what happened last year. We had 13 shows go to France, south of France, for 4 days to participate in Europe's first web series festival, the Marseille Webfest, founded by Jean-Michel Albert, producer Jean-Michel Albert, Stéphane Rizzo, Minister of Culture, and the city of Marseille is behind it. It was just amazing to see an entire city behind a web series. It was just amazing, incredible, great experience, and so they're going to be coming back again. And they're going to choose shows, I don't know, maybe 10 shows to go to France in October. Okay. And we're going to have our award ceremony, which is incredible as usual. And we're going to show, you know, really, that's all nice, but really what the festival's about will continue to be about other shows. Okay. We're going to be screening new web series and have workshops and panels about everything involving every aspect of making, marketing, and distributing web series.
So I know every year, this is your third one, and every year your theme changes. Mm-hmm. Could you talk about the theme for the third one? Well, and why did you choose that theme?
The theme for the first one was called LA Webfest, New Frontiers for, it was New Frontiers for a New Medium, something like that. Because it was a new medium and, you know, all this, you know, newness involved. Last year's 2011 theme was The Web is the Way. Stressing that the web is an important channel to really focus on. This year's theme is don't wait, create. Stop waiting for someone to give you money to make your web series. Stop waiting to get a sponsor. Stop waiting for your Indiegogo or Kickstarter account to happen before you can make your show. Because to me, if you can't make a web series, I mean, granted, we're all struggling here. Most web series makers are struggling. Filmmakers, but the whole idea of a web series is you don't have to have thousands of dollars to make a good show. What I've seen and what we keep seeing is the inventiveness that people use, using, whether they're using a flip phone camera, natural lighting, or people donating their time. It's not about how much money you spend on your web series. It's about the creativity that goes into making it. Okay. And
you can always improve as you go. So
always improve as you go. I have nothing against Kickstarter or any of these things, but I just noticed that so many people, the web series is becoming like making a film or making a TV show where people are looking for investors before they make a show. And the whole idea of a web series is you don't necessarily need all that to get started. Okay. And so our thing is don't wait for the ideal time to make your show. Create. Okay. Start where you are and just build from there.
Last year's event was held at a stage in Los Angeles, and you mentioned the first was
Stage 52 in Los Angeles. Playhouse, wonderful theater on Washington and Hauser, great spot, lots of free parking. Thomas Duckett, what a wonderful guy he's been to us. We've outgrown that space, Rich, as you know. We were busting from the seams last year. This year we're going to be in a hotel. We haven't, we haven't exactly selected the hotel. We have something on our website, but that's not set in stone. But we will have it very shortly. But it's going to be in a hotel in Los Angeles, and everything is going to be in one location. You can, if you're coming from out of town, you can rent a room. The workshops, the screenings, places to eat. Everything will be in that one spot. Whether it's going to be in Hollywood or near the airport, we're not sure yet, but it's going to be in one of those two spaces. Okay. Real simple.
When you started this thing 3 years ago, talk a little bit about the big idea behind the LA Webfest. What made you create this event?
Well, the whole idea was about community, Rich. I mean, you had all these people making these shows independently. They were out there who didn't know each other. There was no communal watering hole for us to come together like a think tank to talk and share our shows and watch them. Not just watch them. The whole idea was, instead of just watching it on my computer by myself with a few friends, let's get together and watch our shows and celebrate them and cheer each other on and encourage each other. And you know, the award portion is the end. And that's the last thing. But the main thing to me is about watching the shows, really giving respect to the web series the same way you would do film and television and theater. They don't just have a theater award show where you go and get an award, where nobody watches your play. You just go and receive. I mean, they have the Tonys, but I'm saying that they also have theater festivals. They have film festivals. They have TV festivals where it's about watching film, watching theater. And so, to me, LA Webfest is primarily about watching some of these gems that are being made online, web series that are being made, dramas, comedies, reality, documentary, interactive narrative, dramas and comedies, travel talk, leisure, lifestyle shows, etc. I mean, there's so much creativity on the web and it needs to be celebrated. And we need to stop feeling so small, like we're not as good as the other guys, because we are.
So talk a little bit more about the actual, when does this event happen and how can people submit?
It's happening. We're LA Webfest this year. We're going to be in April. We were in March in 2010 and 2011. We're going to be in April this year, April 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And if you go to our website, which is www.lawebfest.com, lawebfest.com, you can register your show. We're not doing withoutabox.com, no disrespect to them, but we want to keep that money for ourselves. And Without a Box is a little expensive for us right now, so we're focused on. We want everybody to go to our website, which is lawebfest.com, register your show, and we take it from there. And you know, I'm glad that we're here for a third year, and it's great to be around for 3 years because these things aren't easy to put together, Rich, as you know. And but you know, we're about the shows, we're about celebrating the web series, and educating, and networking, and you know, unity.
Yeah, you were actually talking about unity. You were a big part of the Marseille Webfest that you mentioned earlier that happened in the south of France, and you were a consulting producer for that particular event. What are differences and similarities between web series in the United States compared to web series in Europe?
Well, I find that it's very similar. They're telling stories. The Italians, the French, the Indians, the Canadians, the New Zealanders, the Australians, the English. They're telling stories from the ground up about what's happening in their neighborhoods and their communities and their cities. And they're telling stories involving everybody. You look at television, Rich. I work in television, and I've worked in television for 25 years. TV doesn't look like America. Everybody doesn't look like a model. And there's a lot of diversity in this country that goes overlooked. I don't know where these people are. I don't know what kind of focus groups they're getting that says that Americans don't want to see shows that look like America. The same with the movies. Yeah, even Broadway. I mean, there's a lack of diversity in all three mediums, and there's just a lack of stories that go out of the norm. And what I love about a web series is that there's more diversity, not just in terms of the people in the shows, but stories that are being told. I mean, the stories that are being told are, I mean, they do everything. There's no show that, I can't think of any theme that's not being tapped on in a web series. And so, I think that's fantastic. And if the TV, theater, and film people were smart, they would be looking at the web series as almost like a farm system for ideas. Because these ideas are coming from the people, not from advertisers and networks and Ivy League educated people who think that they're the smartest guys in the room because they went to Harvard. Nothing against Harvard. But some of these people I've dealt with in the networks and television think that, you know, their taste is the taste of America, and they're the most out-of-touch people I've ever been around. They don't know what Americans want to see. That's why most of their shows fail. Most television shows suck.
I know.
They do.
I know.
But then people are so critical of web series, and most of these people that criticize web series, they act like every web series has to be great. Every web series has to be Avatar. And it doesn't. It doesn't have to be Avatar. Just like in television and film and theater, a handful of web series that are great are going to represent should represent the rest of the, you know, the medium. But I'm finding a lot of web series are really, really well done. But people aren't taking the time to watch them. So you can't. I've met with some of the networks, people at Disney and Paramount, And I'm just amazed at how they're really fast to knock on a web series, and they haven't even watched any.
That's true. That's true.
They're going by, don't even watch the media. And so, but they've always been, the networks, the dinosaurs, I mean, they're always the last to jump on the bandwagon. But it's okay, we forgive them. But I just feel that the Europeans, they realize this. They're airing web series, not just on television in France. That's getting ready to happen, but they're supporting web series, Rich. They have a fund in France, the CNC, and they support web series. They give you money to make shows. Same with Canada, the International Production Fund, where you can apply for this fund and get. They gave out almost $2 million this year to 10 different shows, and they've been doing it since 2010. So that's great, but you got to be careful with that too, because to me the whole idea of a web series is you don't want to be dependent on someone else to
help you
give you money.
Yeah.
You want to do it yourself so you can control it and tell your story. Like you can't get upset if you're going to somebody else for money and then they're not letting you tell the story you want to tell because they're controlling you, because they're giving you the money. So yeah, you may have to answer to that guy because he's giving you the money to do it. But if you can find a way to do it yourself, then you can get your vision out there and get out whatever you want to say.
What is your perspective on crowdfunding sites like the Kickstarters? And you mentioned earlier that some creators, not all, some creators are dependent on platforms like Kickstarter, and if the money isn't raised, they don't create. And your theme, of course, is create, don't wait. So, for someone that doesn't have a lot of money in the bank to make this content, I mean, what is your perspective on crowdfunding sites like Kickstarter?
First of all, I have nothing against Kickstarter, Indiegogo, any of these other crowdfunding sites. I think it's great if you can do it. I know Big Country Blues, our biggest winner of the LA Webfest in 2011, won 9 awards, including the French award going to Marseille, the Marseille Webfest selection. Brian Ross raised the money through Kickstarter. They got most of their money through Kickstarter campaign. I think that's fantastic. But everybody can't do that. And everybody shouldn't have to do that to make a web series. The whole idea of a web series is you should be able to make a web series on your day job. I mean, this isn't like it was 20 years ago, Rich, where you got to go rent a camera for thousands of dollars a day, and you got to pay for film, and you got to pay for editing. I mean, the cameras are so cheap. I mean, look what we're recording on right now. Is that a phone? Is that a phone?
Yeah, it's a flip. It's a flip
phone.
Yeah.
The same money you pay every month for your cell bill, you can use that to shoot your web series. Or you can get the Canon 5D and the Red. Those cameras are cheap. Editing, you can get that inexpensively. Or
the new iPhone 4S.
The new iPhone.
Awesome footage.
So I mean, there's no excuse. I mean, but some people, Rich, if they have to come out of pocket $10, that's too much. But they want to do something, but they don't want to invest in themselves. And if you don't want to invest in yourself, stop complaining. Like you can't say that no one's giving you an opportunity if you're not willing to take the opportunity yourself.
And invest in yourself.
It's not a whole lot of money. I mean, to make you don't have to spend, granted, Brian Ross's web series is amazing. And you can see where the money went. I mean, I think his web series cost like $50 grand for the 6 episodes they shot. But every web series doesn't have to cost that amount of money. And we've seen web series like Mating 101. They said they made that web series for $300, and they shot it on the flip phone. Ryan Carmody and Matt Prater. So I'm just saying that it's not a money thing, and people make it. Some people I think are making it into a money thing when they just kind of follow the crowd and say I've got to do a crowd
pleaser,
crowdfunding. If I don't do a crowdfunding, if my Kickstarter campaign doesn't work, if I don't make my $5 grand or my 10 grand for my Kickstarter, I can't do a web series. Once again, you become dependent. You're going back to traditional media, and you become dependent on that. So you may as well go and make a short film, or go and make an independent feature, or try to fund a play because you're going the traditional route. And the whole idea is that you don't need to do all that to do a good web series.
So back to the LA Webfest. One major feature about these festivals that I love seeing are the various panels and the various discussion briefs that you include in them. Talk a little bit more about what should we expect as far as like panel wise, like what sort of subjects and what sort of topics do you plan on covering in next year's festival?
Well, you know, education is important. People come to the festival. Some people come for education. Some people are making web series rich, and they don't always have a foundation in filmmaking.
Right.
And so they come to learn. A lot of web series makers are filmmakers. They went to school for it. They went to film school, but they couldn't get a job in the industry, and they're doing a day job. But this is what they've gone to school for, so they know what they're doing.
Yes.
So we talk about writing, you know, for the web. We talk about. I try to be. I don't like to do the same things I see at other festivals, and so I try to be creative. Social, the importance of transmedia, writing, of course, producing, marketing, monetizing. Everybody wants to know how to make money, so there's always going to be one on monetizing.
Right.
And here's some of the ideas that people are coming up with. But also, we have something called how we made our web series. And people who get on our festival, what we do is we allow them a platform to get on a panel and talk about how they made their show. So if you're in the audience and you want to make a web series, you have the idea, you got the drive, but you don't know what to do, well, here, listen to 4 people.
It's always good to hear it from the people who have actually made content themselves.
Yeah, you don't listen to the experts, but listen to the practical people who are making them.
Right.
And not just people from LA, people from New York, Rhode Island, Oregon, Missouri, Tennessee, people from other countries, Italy and Canada. Hear and so we have several.
Right.
How we did it, we have like 6 panels just on that, like 2 a day. So I think that's important.
Well, Mike, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, and you guys check out www.lawebfest.com.
Yeah, we're taking submissions through March 10th, from now to March 10th, and we have it is on the website. You can apply anytime, 24 hours a day, and there are no guarantees, of course. But if you really believe in your show, you think you've done some good work, and you have more than 3 episodes of your show, we'd like to see it, and I guarantee you, we're going to give you a shot. And we're not just going to look at one episode and chuck it. We're going to look at all of them. Because sometimes, Rich, I've seen situations where an entire season was, not very good. Season 2 was great. Because, again, just like regular TV, sometimes you need a few episodes or even a whole season to find your legs and figure out what you're doing and what your show is, etc. And that's happened across the board. I mean, even Seinfeld. People forget Seinfeld. The first 3 years, Seinfeld was like in a fog. They didn't really find out what they were doing until season 4. So it's the same thing with the web series. And that's the beauty of a web series as opposed to a film. If you make a bad film, it's always going to be a bad film. But a web series that's weak can get stronger and get better the more you do it. So.
All right, we're running out of time. Thanks for checking out webseriesnetwork.com, Mike Ajakwe, LAWebfest.com.
Thanks for having me, Rich.
Submit your series.
Web Series Network. I love it.
Take care.